Thanks for tuning into our podcast. We love having you here, and it's our mission to bring you all the latest and greatest tips, skills, and know-how to make you the best that you can be. We know that you have it in you, and we're going to show you how. Now, let's get started.
This episode is powered by Poddex.
Thank you for tuning in today. You are now listening to That Will Never Work Podcast with your host, Maurice Chisholm.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Listen, there were some conversations I was having over the last couple of days. And a lot of times when you are faced with an opportunity, and some people say, you know what, let me take this opportunity. I'm not going to get another one. And they're really, really excited about it. They're putting all their eggs in this one basket, and they are really hyping themselves up to move forward. And what happened is that as they were moving forward with this project, they had not gotten it yet, but they were still putting so much energy into it that you would have thought that they had the project. And so I was asking them why they were putting in so much in, and they were in the mindset of, well, I have it in the bag. I'm gonna get this thing. I'm gonna have myself prepared for this project. And then as they were moving forward, they realized as they were preparing, the answer to get to this project was not clear, and it was not coming in the amount of time that they had envisioned for it to happen. So in this situation, they were still gearing themselves up. They were purchasing products. They were finding out that they were going to be over prepared for this project, but they wanted to be over than under for this project. How many of you are really preparing for each opportunity that comes up? Are you prepared? You can't be prepared for everyone, but there are quite a few that you can be prepared for, and or you're already prepared, but because of your nerves, because of your outlook, and what people have said to you in the past, sometimes it dictates where you are going, unfortunately. So as we are taking a look at this conversation, right, that I was having with this individual, they were really stressing about getting this project because they felt like this particular project was going to change their life. So as we continue to, time goes by, where we're putting together a checklist to say, hey, I have this, I have that, what's going on? If I only knew about this, let me study some more on that, and to get this stuff done. So what happens when that individual or that company tells you no? They have decided to go in another way. Well, now what happens is sometimes you find yourself in a position of being distraught. You're a little anxious, because, hey, nobody wants me. You don't know how you're going to maneuver through the process of someone telling you no. And so as I had a conversation with this individual, I said, hey, you know what? You learned something, you got something out of it. And at this particular time, it's just not your time. And they were really down. They were really finding themselves in a moment of depression, and they couldn't find a way to get out of it. And, I kept trying to talk to them, encourage them, figure a way to motivate them. Now, here is the key to this situation. I was talking to myself. I found myself in a lot of different scenarios of preparing and over preparing for projects and work and things like that, contracts, whatever it might have been, where I eventually had over prepared for a situation that never transpired. How many of you are actually putting in that type of work and dedication to get to that point of understanding, hey, in order for me to do this, I need to have this done, that done. What you're trying to do is cross your T's and dot your I's in this situation, so that way when it comes up, it is not overwhelming to you because you already have what you need in that situation for that situation. And you also have connected the dots where if plan A falls, I have a plan B just in case anything goes down. So here's what happened for me when I was talking to myself about accepting the no, which was very hard. Well, the key is that I did not know, that no from that one individual turned into 3 yeses by 3 different people and or organizations. So sometimes the no turns out to be something else. Another door opens that is now multiplied by your wildest dreams. Now, in this situation I'm speaking of, it multiplied by 3, which was 2 more than I had imagined. So I would like for you to be encouraged that sometimes your no turns into a yes. And because now you were prepared for the first situation, you're now prepared for 3. Because you over-prepared for 1, you are now prepared for 3. Just because you studied and you were nervous, now you have the opportunity to talk to the next 3 and be able to sell yourself in a way like, I've learned it, I have my product or my services together, and I know that I can now execute it in a fashion that is needed for your project. So don't be afraid to overstudy. Don't be afraid to over-prepare. Don't be afraid to, as I call, useless information. And so that is an ongoing joke that we have in our house where we talk about useless information, right? There's like, hey, it's not going to work. What am I learning this for? Not understanding that it does come up at some point in time, or it is now useful in a situation when I am networking or whatever it is. Sometimes it feels pointless in the beginning, but you don't realize how important it is in the end. So please, over-prepare. Please educate yourself on whatever you're trying to do. Be sure that you try to cross every T and dot every I, as many as you can, while you're in the season of preparing for the 1, and they tell you no, now you get the 3. Now you're ready for the 5. Now you're prepared for the 10. Because right now I am encouraged that each and every one of us, once we prepare ourselves for this situation, we are now ready to take on what some people might say the world. Are you ready to do that? And so some of you might say, hey, you know what, Maurice? Well, you're an entrepreneur and that's what you're doing, right? Well, guess what? This can also apply to your job. I speak to my wife often about wearing multiple hats and understanding that each one of those hats prepares you for your next steps. And, and don't try to take off, those hats. Might want to crack it off, a little bit, slide it to the side a little bit, but don't take it all the way off, because those skills that you learned previously will help you as you move forward to your next destination. So for those of you who like myself, was in customer service, and you look up and you have your manager, then your director, and then your vice president right outside your desk. And all you're doing, as you're sitting at your desk and you're looking at those doors and you're like, what's going on? Can I sit in those positions? So don't take for granted what you're doing. right? Don't take for granted that what you're learning. Don't take it for granted that this is your proving ground to get between those 3 doors. On the other side of those 3 doors. So understand that today your no is going to be multiplied more than you ever believed. Thank you for listening.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.